Hello, and welcome back to Diecast Graveyard. My name is Paul. We got a really special build today. My buddy Biff is in the house. Now, Biff has been my friend for over 30 years, and I'm going to coach him through his very first custom. Now, this one's going to be a lot of fun, so if you're a first-time builder or if you've never done this before, and if you've always wanted to try this is something that's going to be really cool. And by watching my videos and videos of other folks, you're going to be able to see that you can do this. Go ahead and grab your favorite adult beverage and join along as Biff shows you his first custom with my coaching. Let's go ahead and get started with today's build. So as I'm coaching Biff through his first build, I'm taking him through every single step that I do. Now the first thing obviously he has to do is get the car apart. Here he's taking a 1/16 inch drill bit and pre-drilling out the mushroom caps on the end of the posts. And again, as I coach him through this, he's learning and he's going to get to the point where he's going to be able to do this on his own in the near future. Let's go ahead and speed some of this up so we can get on with the build. That went pretty smooth. Now we're going to take a file here and file it down to get a nice flat surface in order to drill out the posts. And again, everything in this video was done by Biff. If you follow along in my videos, like I said, and you follow along in other people's videos, you can learn how to do this. But if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comments, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Now here, we're going to take a 5/64 drill bit and we're going to drill out the posts. This will allow us to insert a screw into each post. Now let's go ahead and speed this up also. This is coming along extremely well. Now that we got the post drilled out, we're going to go ahead and tap those posts. Now we drilled these posts out with a 5/64 drill bit. That's going to allow us to use a 2-56 tap in the post in order to put the 2-56 screws. Now the screws we're going to use in this particular case are a 1/8 inch long screw for the front because it has an opening hood and it's a short post, and we have a 3/16 inch long screw for the back. Now both of these screws are the 2-56 size. And what that means is 2-56, that means it's a number 2 screw, and that goes with the width of the shaft. And the 56 is how many threads per inch there are on the screw. So if you have a 1-72 screw, it's a number 1 size screw with 72 threads per inch. And that's how the system works. Now that we got the holes tapped out, we're going to go ahead and put the screws in the post just to test them to make sure that they fit properly. Let's go ahead and move on to the next step. The next step, of course, is to dip it into the paint stripper. Now what makes this car special is this was Biff's first car when he was a youngster and could drive for the first time down in Florida. So we're dipping it in the citrus strip, and we're going to use the brush to take off the excess. Now Biff is right-handed too, so he should be holding it with the left hand and using the brush with the other. But that's not a big deal. Let's go ahead and move on to the next step. Here's a step that you don't see too often. I had Biff put on some nitrile gloves, and we're going to go ahead and rinse off all the excess citrus strip now that the paint has all bubbled off. I'm going to use a real stiff toothbrush, or this brush is actually used for cleaning rifles and guns and stuff like that. But we're going to take off all the excess paint and the citrus strip that is on the car. Then we're going to scrub it down with a dish soap and then hit it again with some degreaser. Now any little residual paint that's on there, you can take it off with a Scotch-Brite pad or some steel wool, etc., and it'll come off with no problem. Let's go ahead and move on to the next step. The next step we're going to do is polish the car. And here, Biff is going to use Flitz. Now this is one of my favorite products. I absolutely love this product, and I stand behind it 110%. Now I had used some other products and they work pretty good, but the consistency that I get with Flitz is fantastic. Now if you want a good deal on Flitz, check out the link in the description and you can get 20% off of Flitz on their website. But make sure you use the link and use the code word Graveyard. That will help you get that 20% discount. I always say in my videos that you can do this, and I truly mean it, and that's why I made this video. Biff has never done anything like this before. And as far as polishing the car, stripping the paint off, and later on painting the car and making it look like his car when he was a teenager, this was the whole purpose of this video. Now, like I said, if you have any questions, just put them in the comments and I'll do the best I can to help you out, such as what kind of equipment to get, how to get stuff on a budget, and something that you can enjoy even by getting main lines at Walmart or Target or flea markets or on Facebook or whatever. But again, folks, like I say, you can do this. Now, I instructed Biff here, when it comes to polishing the hood, make sure that you either hold the hood down if you're going in the same direction that the hood opens, or like he's doing here, side to side on top. Now, this is really going to help out later on, because if you don't want that hood to snap off when you're buffing it out, you definitely need to take precautions and either hold it down or go in the direction that the hood is not going to open. Let's go ahead and speed this up. That looks really awesome. He did a great job on polishing that up, and that Flitz is a wonderful product. Let's scrub it down with degreaser and get it ready for painting. Let's move on. Here we've got the car, and we're going to use the color yellow Spectre Flame from the Redline shop. Check out the Redline shop at www.redlineshop.com, and they've got those world famous Spectre Flame paints. Now here, Biff is going to mix up the paint. And the mixing ratio on the bottle says 5:1. I prefer to use 4:1, and that definitely works good for me too. Plus you use a little less paint. So here we've got a 2 milliliter pipette, and we're going to take it up to that black line, which is approximately 2 milliliters. Sometimes you have to squeeze the pipette a few times to get it to raise to that level. That's close enough. Let's go ahead and put the paint in the cup. And make sure you seal your bottle, because inevitably you'll knock it over and spill it. Now let's go ahead and put in the hardener. Swish it around to stir it up. Now we're ready to put it in the airbrush. Let's go ahead and move on. Here we've got the paint and the brush. And as I told Biff, go ahead and get your wheel wells first in all your hard to reach areas. Just really light, get it in there, and get that mist coat on there. That's the secret to a really good paint job, especially with the Spectre Flame paints or the Retro Flame paints, etc. It was such a beautiful day out, I went ahead and just opened up the door instead of using the spray booth. Make sure you go back side to side and not just spray little tiny bits. Much better. Let's go ahead and move on. Now Biff went through and he detailed the car. He painted the headlights. The taillights are already painted. And on the base itself, he did the signal lights in the front, and later on we came back in and we did the black in the grille. And again, the taillights were already painted. He turned the wheels around to get rid of the red lines, but that looks really, really good. Here's the interior, it's fine the way it is, and then here's the glass. Let's go ahead and put everything together and have our reveal. And here's what we started with, this 1965 Mustang. Now, this was Biff's car when he was young and a teenager, and he wanted this car to look like the car he had, his very first car, when he was young. Now, the only other thing that we didn't do here is the car was a little bit weathered when he got it, and he had talked about weathering it, but maybe we'll do something like that in another episode. So we took the car apart, we stripped it down, we cleaned it all up, we painted it, we went through, we did a wheel changeover really. We turned the wheels inside out to make sure that the red lines weren't showing. And we did a lot of detailing on the car. Well, not really a lot, but enough to make a big difference here. And like I always say, folks, Again, you can do this. This was a lot of fun. This was Biff's first custom, and I'm sure it probably won't be his last. And here's what we got to. With the Spectre Flame Yellow and the details we did on the car, this is how it turned out. And what a beautiful job he did too. The yellow Spectre Flame paint has got a beautiful shine to it. We got the Real Rider tires that were already on there, and we did the detailing with the signal lights, the headlights, etc., and made this car look outstanding. This was a lot of fun, and if you watch my videos, folks, you can learn how to do this also. But there's a lot of other guys out there. Check out Brad's page at Full Custom Diecast. Check out Andrew at Maple Leaf Customs. Check out Tom Ward over there at Caliber 50 Customs. There's a lot of great folks out there, and I'll be highlighting some more builders here in the near future. What a fantastic day to show someone how to enjoy this great hobby, and I know that you can do it also. I want to thank you for joining me today on Diecast Graveyard. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad to have my buddy Biff back home in the area here in Northwest Florida, and we're going to have more builds together, I promise. But tune in, subscribe, hit that like button, and we'll see you down the road. Thank you, and cheers.